Really? Jesus couldn't do any great deeds because of their lack of faith? Or he couldn't or he wouldn't? What do you think? Couldn't, wouldn't? I don't know. Except he healed a few people. Well, it's like, well, yeah, that's good. But I hate it when this issue comes up. Well, what is it? Does our faith bring the healing or does the healing bring faith? And of course the answer is yes. Or it depends. I think of our dear sister Judy Deacon, whose funeral is this coming Saturday. I'm sure she prayed plenty of times for healing. And she received some healing physically, and yet eventually it got her. St. Paul talks about, 3 times I asked that this thorn in my flesh might be taken. 3 times he asked to be healed. I'm thinking, well, I've asked 3,000 times for my issue. How about you folks? How many times have you asked? And but St. Paul asked 3 times. I'm thinking, well, but why did he even ask 3 times? Why did he even ask to ask at all? And why wasn't it done? Did he not have faith? Certainly, St. Paul had faith. What was Paul's response to this? Finally, after the 3rd time, he says, okay, well then I accept this thorn in the flesh. What was that thorn in the flesh? Was it some physical or mental sickness? Was it some body that was a thorn in his flesh? Was it some situation? What was that thorn? Eventually he says, okay, I've asked 3 times. I'm just going to accept this. In fact, not only am I going to accept it, I'm going to embrace it and I'm going to brag about it. I'm going to brag about my weakness. I'm going to boast that in my weakness is Christ's strength, Christ's power. Paul's response, in a way, is recognizing that faith is itself a healing. Paul's now even deepening faith in the power of Christ in him. Certainly he experienced that as a healing. Faith can itself be a healing for us. On this 4th of July weekend, Independence Day weekend, I think about how we might be invited sometimes as a nation to embrace our weakness as our strength, but we don't like doing that, do we? We don't like doing that individually. Can we ever look to our lack of something as a strength, as a call to reach out to other nations, to cooperate with others, and not think we have to, sometimes we think we have to do everything by ourselves, solve everything. Some things need to be accepted. And as individuals too, how are we called to say, in God we trust? That first reading today talks about hardness of face and obstinate of heart. So I want to invite you all to put your hard faces on. So looking at me or past me or through me, whatever helps you, I want you to set your face hard against me. Don't think about setting your face hard, but refuse to listen to me, or perhaps put God here, or Jesus, or your roommate, or your mother, or somebody that maybe you can think of a specific time when you didn't want to listen to somebody. So I'll give you a moment to think about that, and then I want to just see what that looks like. Don't try to make your faces hard. Just communicate that to me up here, or if I'm your mother or whatever, that you're not going to listen. Okay? I'll give you a few moments to show me your hard face. Okay, give me some more hard faces. You ready? This is your last chance. Hard face. All right, some of you just can't do it. But for one, I saw a smirk and I thought, oh, that's kind of an interesting hard face. That's like in your face kind of hard face. So, but isn't that a great image to think that sometimes that's how we face God, with a hard face? Now let me see your obstinate hearts. No, I'm just kidding. That's harder to do. The Jesus's townspeople there in Nazareth all of a sudden went from these soft faces. Oh, let me give you a chance to. I'll give you a chance in a minute. They went from soft faces to hard faces. They're like, oh, this is cool. He's doing great things, and he's going to do great things for us. We love him. And then it's this weird transition, which is so hard to figure out. And then they're all, yeah, and he just lives here. Yeah, he just lives here. How could he be doing great things? Yeah, he's just a carpenter's son. We know him. Right. We're not going to listen to him. So somehow they've talked themselves out of receiving him. And I don't know why exactly, except I think they realized that accepting him was going to ask a response of them that they weren't ready to give. So then they had to start rationalizing. Instead of saying, yeah, well, we just don't want to listen to this guy who's great and is doing mighty deeds and has authority and we should listen to him. Instead of saying that, instead of being honest, they said, well, who is this guy anyway? He doesn't really speak with authority. We thought he did for an instant there. We were impressed. He did a little tap dance. We were impressed. But next. And so they rationalized away the need or the invitation to listen to him and his invitation to new life. So they set their faces hard against him. They didn't realize that faith meant a response. That this healing we're talking about of faith includes heeding. That's the way the prophet puts it in today's first reading. The response to the prophet, the correct response is to heed the prophet. In the heeding is the fulfillment of that healing. Not just saying, yeah, I believe, but responding in faith. Putting our trust in God. So let me give you a chance to do those soft faces. So now, I know this will really be hard for you, but just take a moment to let me know that non-verbally that you want to listen to me. No, you guys are good at that. You always pretend very well at that. And so this is how we are to listen to God, to listen to Christ. And back for a moment to that original question, is it, what is God's response to our faithfully asking him to heal us? And as good a question as that is, let's instead today think about the question, not as what is God's response to faith, but what is our response